Greetings and welcome to Yarnspirations. I'm Mary Beth Temple for Hooked for Life, and this is part 2 of a 2-part video series in which we're going to take a closer look at the Crochet Velvet Sweater. Now this is made in sizes 6 to 24 months in Bernat Baby Velvet. You can click the link below to download the free pattern, and while you're down there, subscribe to the channel for fresh content weekly on knitting, crocheting, and other yarny stuff. Now in the first video, we did the collar and the raglan shaping. In this second video, we're going to take a look at splitting the body and the sleeves from each other and working them separately and putting that little finishing ribbing on the bottom. So let's get going. This is what my piece looks like before I get to the part where I'm going to divide the body, the front and the back, from the sleeves. Now again, I have put stitch markers in here just because it makes my brain a little easier to find out where those chain one spaces are. You don't need them, and you don't have to have them if you don't want to. I personally enjoy them, so I'm using them, but you certainly do not have to. So now we're at the part where we're going to divide the body and the sleeves. So we're in the middle of page 2. We're going to chain 2 and half double crochet in each of the next 16, in my case. You'll pick your number stitches. You're going to chain 2 and skip the next 19 or however many, and that's for the sleeve. Half double crochet in each of the next 32 to 40, half double crochet, chain 2, skip the next 19, that's the other sleeve, or the correct number, half double crochet in each half double crochet to end, join round with slip stitch at the top of the chain 2, and that's how many half double crochet that you will have. So you will notice when you're stitching along, essentially, you're working in half double crochet up to the chain 1 space and then skipping over to the next chain 1 space. So let's take a look and see what that looks like. So I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, half double crochet in each of the next 16, three, 4, 14, 15, 16, or again, whatever the number it is that they tell you. I'm going to get rid of that stitch marker because I don't need it anymore. Chain 2, skip next 19 in my case. And once again, I know from counting earlier that 19 is the number of half double crochets I had between the chain 1 spaces. So you can sit and count, or you can just skip to after the next chain 1 space. Half double crochet in each of next 32. Or the number that you're supposed to have. And once again, I know, because I counted, that I'm just going across to the next chain 1 space. And this is what this looks like. We have set these stitches aside for the sleeve, and these chain 2s are holding the space where the underarm is going to be. So I'm going to continue on half double crochet in the next 32, in my case. 30, 31, 32, get rid of that stitch marker, chain 2, 1, 2, skip the next 19, again check your own number, but I know that that is the number of stitches between the chain 1 spaces. So I'm going over here, going after that chain 1 space. You know what, I'm going to make those 2 chains a little looser because I'm going to have to crochet in them later. Let me just make a neater job of that. There's my chain 1 space. And then I will have 19, or the number that you're supposed to have, to the end. I'm going to join the round, and then for the next round I'm going to half double crochet in each half double crochet around, and when I come to those chain 2 spaces I'm going to put 1 half double crochet in each of those 2 chains. And I would say the chain, not the chain space. You don't want those stitches sliding around. And then after that, when I get to the third round under divide body and sleeves, it just says chain 2, half double crochet in each half double crochet around, join with slip stitch to top of chain 2. So you're going to repeat that work even round in which you half double crochet in each half double crochet around until the work measures from the underarm. So you're going to measure down from that chain 2 until the work measures anywhere between 5.5 to 7 inches, depending on the size, which is 14 to 18 centimeters. And then you are going to make ribbing, and you're going to make the ribbing in the exact same way that we did for the collar at the top. I'm going to just show that very briefly, just so we have that on both videos, but I really want to talk about the sleeve next. So I've put just a couple of rounds on this. I'm not going to go too crazy making a little baby crop top here, but that just shows you what the arm opening looks like after we have put our 2 half double crochets in those chains. And I mentioned I'm going to do just a brief recap of the front post double crochet and back post double crochet that we're using for the ribbing. If you need a closer look at it, please look at part 1 of this video series where I've gone over it very, very slowly so you can see what's going on. So when your piece is long enough, certainly not the cropped measurement that I have, for the ribbing you're going to chain 2, double crochet front post around the next half double crochet. Remember that chain 2 does not count. So you're going down on the right side, up on the left side, yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2 twice. And then for the back post, you're going to yarn over. You're coming up on the right side, down on the left side. So you're scooping under that stitch. Yarn over, pull through 2 twice. So once again, front post, and back post. That'll give you texture on both sides of the work, and it's exactly the way we did the top collar. So let's move on and talk about how we're going to make the sleeves. Okay, let's take a look at the sleeves. So once again, we're on the second page of the pattern. Join yarn with slip stitch to underarm, chain 2, half double crochet in each half double crochet or chain around, because remember we have that chain 2 in the underarm seams. Join with slip stitch to top of chain 2, and then there are some additional increases for certain sizes, but you will follow that depending on what size you're making. And then once you get those increases done, you're going to work even until the sleeve measures the number of inches or centimeters that it says in the pattern, and then you're going to do the sleeve ribbing the same way that you did the ribbing on the collar and the hem of the body. So let's take a look under the arm of that sleeve. So there were my 2 stitches that are in those 2 chains that I put in. So I like my my little underarm spot to be exactly at the center, but you can start anywhere you want really. You can't see very much of a seam on this one, but I'm going to start under the chains of the left hand one of the 2 because I like my seam to be right in the center. I'm going to chain 2, remember it doesn't count. I'm going to half double crochet in each stitch around, including the one where I put the slip stitch. Now remember we skipped 19 stitches before when we went from one side of the chain 1 space to the other side, and then we added the 2 chains at the bottom. So now we're going to have 21 stitches. All right, so I'm going to work all the way around. Coming up to the end of that first round, that was my 19th half double crochet. Here's 20, and then 21 goes in the first of those two chains. So there's one here, and the other one is right there. Now remember, for sizes 6 and 24 months, for the next round you're going to put 2 half double crochets in the first one, and that is because we want there to be an even number of stitches so that our front posts and back posts work out. But for the other sizes, you're just going to work even. And even for sizes 6 and 24 months, after you do that increase the very first time, you're just going to work even for the rest of the rounds until you hit the length that you want. So thank you so much for joining us here at Yarnspirations for the Crochet Velvet Sweater. I'm Mary Beth Temple for Hooked for Life. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for fresh content weekly on knitting, crocheting, and other yarny stuff. And we look forward to seeing you again here real soon. Bye-bye.